Hi there. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Julie DiMatteo from the paperpixie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US. And in this video tutorial, I've got this beautiful large gift box using the Peace and Joy bundle and that beautiful metallic mesh ribbon. Inside, I have sized this box to fit one of the 3 wick candles by Bath & Body Works. The smell of this one is divine. I wish I had smell-o-vision, twisted peppermint. I took my color inspiration from the candle itself. These are such a wonderful gift for the holidays or for any occasion throughout the year. And I've designed the box to be very sturdy to hold this because the candle is quite heavy. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to make this, and then we'll put together this beautiful tag as well. One of my favorite bundles from the August to December 2020 mini catalog that's retiring. The dies are actually 20% off now through January 4th. So let's jump into the project. We're actually going to be using 3 pieces of the Magenta Madness cardstock. I have 2 pieces that measure 8 3/4 by 8 1/2. These 2 are going to go together to create the box base. And then I have 1 piece that measures 8 3/16 by 8 3/16. That is just 1/16 less than 8 1/4. Bringing in the Simply Scored, let's start with the 8 3/16 by 8 3/16 piece. This is the square piece, and this is really easy. We're going to score this on all 4 sides at 1 inch and 2 inches. And I'm just going to work my way around and do all those score lines. Like so. Next, I'm bringing in the 8 3/4 inch by 8 1/2 inch pieces, and along the 8 3/4 inch side, we're going to score this at 4 1/8 and 8 1/4. Then I'm going to rotate it clockwise, and we're going to score again at 4 1/8 and then 7 3/4. Just like that. You just want to make sure that when you do the first score lines that you're starting at the 8 3/4 inch side. Bringing in the next piece, again, let's repeat, 4 1/8. I'm on the 8 3/4 inch side, so 4 1/8 and 8 1/4. Rotate clockwise, 4 1/8 and 7 3/4. Next, I'm going to fold and burnish on all the score lines on all 3 pieces. Okay, now we're going to focus on the 2 pieces that were the 8 3/4 by 8 1/2. I've got a template here for you. The 8 3/4 inch side is where we have the 3/4 inch section at the top. The 1/2 inch section is along the 8 1/2 inch side. So let me put one of these aside, and I'm going to show you how we're going to go ahead and cut this. With those 2 larger 4 1/8 inch square sections along the bottom, you want to come in and cut up each of the vertical score lines, stopping at that first horizontal score line. And then we're going to remove this lower skinny piece completely, but I'm also going to come in and notch just slightly on this little 1/2 inch section. So you'll see that little angle cut right there. Then I'm going to rotate it to the top, and we're going to cut up again each of the vertical score lines, stopping at that first horizontal score line. These are much smaller sections here. I'm going to remove this corner here, also coming into notch. So what we're left with is just that little 1/2 inch section here on the side. And then on these 2 sections, now that they're loose, I'm going to come in and notch on either side. Like so. Now we're going to wait. We're going to be removing some of the bulk from this section here, but let's go ahead and finish the other piece and get it to this point. All right, now we've got those 2 pieces in the same position now. For this next part, I like to use the paper trimmer for this because it just makes it easier to trim. And we're gonna, again, let me show you the template. Want to remove half of this section here closest to that little 1/2 inch tab on the side. So to do that, I'm gonna go ahead and fold this. I've flipped it upside down now. So I've got the little 1/2 inch tab along the bottom. That's just so I can have a flat edge along the top. I'm gonna fold this section out of the way. And I'm actually going to line up this folded edge right at 2 1/16. You could do it at 2, you could do it at 2 1/8, but 2 1/16 is actually the halfway point of this section. Then I'll just come in and cut. And what that's done is removed half of the bulk from this tab, and you'll see why when we put the box together. Same thing, we're gonna remove half the bulk from this tab. I'm gonna flip it over to where I've got my little 1/2 inch along the bottom. Fold this one out of the way because we don't want to cut that one. Lining up this folded edge at 2 1/16. And you can certainly eyeball this as well. The point is we just want to make sure we remove about half of the bulk from this tab here. So then we've got both pieces cut exactly the same. And the last thing we need to do here, fold that big section out of the way. We're going to come in and notch or miter on this little 1/2 tab here. Like so. Do the same thing to the other one. All right, so now we can start to get this box ready to go together. I'm gonna grab some tear and tape, and then I'm gonna line tear and tape right along that little 1/2 inch section on the side. I'm going right up to the score line as opposed to the edge of the cardstock. Then I'm gonna flip this over, and I wanna put tear and tape right along this edge here. These pieces are actually gonna fold into the box to give a little bit of reinforcement and a nice folded edge for the top edge of the box base. And tear and tape works really quick and easy for this one, like so. So I've got tear and tape along that tab, flipped it over, and then it's along this little 3/4 inch sections. I'm gonna repeat the same thing on the second piece. All right, now it is time to put this together. Here's the template one last time, 2 pieces that look just like this. Using the Take Your Pick tool, I'm gonna pull the backing off of one of those side tabs, and then I'm gonna line up this edge with this score line, basically connecting these 2 panels together for one large long panel, because this is quite a large box. So now we've got a panel that is technically 17 inches long, because these are each 4 1/8 inches, and then we've got this little 1/2 inch section. So now I'm gonna flip this over, and just like I put together other boxes, I'm gonna fold from the second score line on the left, remove that tear and tape. Again, if you have any tear and tape hanging over the side, just fold it back on itself, then fold on the first score line from the right, and those should line right up as long as we lined up the last section the right way. So now you can see it's starting to come together as a box, and look, it takes up the whole frame. Now I'm gonna flip this over. Because we've put together 2 sections, there really is no front or back. So I'm just gonna pick one side that has a longer flap to be the front. I'm gonna fold these 2 tabs in, and this is why we removed that bulk. Because when this is all folded together, we're gonna end up having 3 layers of cardstock. We would have had 4 if we left those as 2 big giant tabs. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab liquid glue for this part because it gives us a little bit of wiggle room to get this squared up on the bottom. And I'm gonna put a little bit of liquid glue along these little 1/2 tabs. And then I'm gonna do glue on the front panel. I'm gonna take my time with this because it is quite a large section. Now I'm gonna fold the back panel first and then the front panel. And then what we can do is with our fingers, just square up those corners. And because this box is so big, we can just put our hand in there and press down from the bottom. You could also put a piece of chipboard in the bottom here, but I found that this actually is really sturdy with 3 layers of cardstock. I'm gonna fold these back so I can get at the tear and tape quickly. Coming in with my Take Your Pick tool, remove the backing. And then I'm just gonna fold these edges inside the box. Just gonna come in and burnish for good measure. And then we can come in with our candle, which should be a perfect fit. Let me put this off to the side. Let's work on the lid. All right, so here is the template for the lid. I actually like to cut from the back side. It's easier for me to see those score lines. I'm gonna cut up the 2 score lines on the right of the lid. I'm gonna cut up each of those 2 vertical score lines, stopping at the second horizontal. Then I'm gonna remove these 2 pieces, but also come in and notch right here as I do that. So remove the 2, and then just remove 1 square here. Now we've created this tab, which then I'm going to notch. And while I'm here, I'm also gonna notch just right here on this section. So that is 1 corner done. I'm gonna do a 1/4 counterclockwise turn. I'm going to again repeat the same thing. So cut up each of those vertical score lines, stopping at the second horizontal score line, removing these two sections while also coming in and notching, then removing the one square, notch the square here, and then come in and notch right here on the section. Then that's corner number 2. I'm going to repeat the same thing on the remaining 2 corners. All right, now the box lid is cut and ready to go. I'm going to come in with tear and tape. I'm on the back side of the box lid. I'm going to run tear and tape right along the edge of these outside sections. And then before we start to put this together, let's go ahead and glue down our layers for the top. I've got a piece of silver foil that measures 4 inches by 4 inches and a piece of the 2020 to 2022 Designer Series paper in Magenta Madness that measures 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. I'm just going to layer those two and then layer it right on the box lid. And now this is ready to start to put together. I'm going to start with 1 tab at a time, putting liquid glue on it. I'm going to line up this score line with this cut edge to form our box corner. Then I'm just going to work my way around to the remaining 3 tabs. I'm going to fold these tabs back so I can get in with the take your pick tool, pull the backing off. And then I'm just going to fold these into the box. Come in with my bone folder and burnish. And now that lid is ready to put over our box base. And that lid actually reinforces the strength of the box because it's also reinforced. And gosh, it's a really, really pretty gift box. A great size too. The finished size here is 4 1/8 by 4 1/8 by 3 5/8. So it's a really good size box for things other than the 3-wick candle as well. But let's go ahead and do some decorations for the box. Let's start with the tag. And for this, I'm going to be using our adorable mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This is available for demonstrator pre-order now, and it will be available for customers starting January 5th of 2021. It comes with all the plates that you need, and for this one, we're going to be using plate 1 and 2 of the number 2 cutting plates. We're using the Peace and Joy bundle here. I'm actually going to stamp the sentiment to the world in Magenta Madness. Then we're going to be using the set of dies, which I have them out, but it's the ones for the word joy. All right, so we're going to start with Whisper White and the outside layer of joy. Then we're doing Magenta Madness and then the next layer of the word joy. And then I've got a piece of silver foil, just a scrap piece, and I cut a piece of the adhesive sheets to size. I'm going to pull the backing off of this. And this is basically going to turn our skinniest die cut of the word joy into a sticker. So we'll run that through the machine. I'll put it off to the side so I can use that again. Here's that beautiful silver foil joy, now a sticker. And then from the stitched shapes, the second smallest of the circles out of silver foil. All right, so getting all our pieces and parts here. I've also got a piece of Magenta Madness that measures 2 inches by 3 inches. We're gonna feed that into the delightful tag topper punch. And then using the detailed trio punch, I'm gonna round the corners. So we've got a tag. Then finally, I'm going to stamp to the world in Magenta Madness onto Whisper White, which I'm then going to fussy cut. And then let's put this all together. You can smooth out any bumps with your bone folder. And now let's tie our ribbon. We're going to be using that beautiful metallic mesh ribbon. We're going to first feed that through the front of our tag. And then we're going to tie a bow. I like to use my reverse tweezers to hold that knot as a third hand. And there we have a beautiful gift box for the Bath & Body Works 3-wick candle. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss my next video. If you're interested in purchasing any of the products I used today, they'll be linked in the description. And I'll also include a link to my detailed blog post with all project measurements, details, and pictures of the templates. I'd love to have you come visit me at paperpixie.com, where I post projects every weekday to inspire you. And if you don't want to miss a thing, you can subscribe to receive blog updates via email, and you'll receive an email each time I publish a new post. You can shop with me anytime at paperpixie.com/shop. And if you're interested in a discount on your Stampin' Up! Purchases, the starter kit is the ultimate bundle, and it's a great way to fill your wish list for less. I'd love to welcome you to the Stampin' Up! Family and my team of Paper Pixies, and you can purchase the starter kit at paperpixie.com/join. If you don't already have a demonstrator and you'd like me to send you free current catalogs, you can submit a catalog request at paperpixie.com/happymail. And if you give this project a try, I'd love to see what you made, so feel free to share it on social media with the hashtag paperpixie, and I'll be sure to check it out. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Take care. Bye.